I just made my first ever broadcast commercial. It was for INDYCAR, and I actually got to see it air on TV. Pretty cool. Not only that, but I did two things I've never even done before. First, a full 3D Blender simulation, and second, a macro shot, my own eyeball, with a live app reflection on it. Let's break down how I pulled it off and what I learned along the way. This project was to help promote the official INDYCAR app. For me, it was personal. I grew up around this sport. My dad's a huge fan. I've been going to races for as long as I can remember, but now I get to make something that actually helps market INDYCAR, so a real full circle moment. Everything started with a rough script and a placeholder VO I recorded myself, just to feel things out and start timing the edit. I just got the script for that, so I'm gonna jump in, record myself doing it. I'll just record here in voice memos on my iPhone. Official INDYCAR app now. Your all-access pass to race day and every day. Download the official INDYCAR app now. New voiceover is 26 seconds long, which is perfect length. Leaves a little bit of room to put some driver radio, have some breaks, some pauses in there, so that is spot on. Then comes music, arguably the most important vibe setter. I tested a few tracks by actually cutting them into the timeline, syncing them with the audio, and really testing out pacing ideas. The winner was obvious. Once I dropped it in, everything clicked. I shared early versions with the INDYCAR team at every step. This saves a ton of time later on and avoids any big surprise notes at the finish line. Once the music track was locked, I started building out the structure. Just color mats at first, red and blue solid colors, to visualize the rhythm and count how many shots I'd need. Then I mapped the whole thing out with text, noting sections like intro, specific app features, race montages, and final end screen call to action. Leaving notes for myself on what will go where, and that will just give me a rough idea in my head of approximately how many shots do I need for this, how long do I have to spend on this, kind of just help rough in the timeline. That rough blueprint really helps organize the project and make sure I cover all the important aspects. Next up, digging through a ton of race footage that INDYCAR provided. To stay organized, I put everything into individual layers, so all the raw footage stays on the video track 1, scene setters pull up to track 2, starts and green flags on track 3, etc. This helps me keep everything organized for later on, so when I need a clip of a pass, boom, it was right there. I went from 7 hours of raw footage down to just 13 minutes of selects. That's where the fun starts. The app interface couldn't just be screenshots, because when you zoom in to 1000%, screenshots fall apart. Quite the change of location today. My car is in the shop getting worked on, so I will be working from a Starbucks. I built the UI from scratch, pixel by pixel, matching it in vector. Every icon, every text box, every border. Recreating all of the screens in vector so that I can zoom way in super tight on them. All the UI elements will stay completely sharp. It's way more dynamic than just showing a phone screen throughout the whole commercial. The animated portion of the video is done, which is the bulk of it. But now it's time to actually shoot some stuff. Now for some live action sauce. First up, the schedule section. I'm gonna put the actual track that's on the schedule behind the phone, so they'll match up. I'll swipe through as the phone swipes through. Hopefully it'll be cool. This was a green screen shot of my phone, swiping through the app's full race schedule as fast as possible. First, we have a big, soft key light. We have the FX3 with the Sigma 24-70. On my phone, it's just on a light stand. The plan was to key out the green screen and drop in real track footage behind each event, pulling from those earlier selects to quickly grab a clean shot of each location. Next was the moment when you actually hit download in the App Store. Same general setup, just way tighter. So tight, in fact, you don't even see the green screen. We'll just use the same setup, swap the lens out for the probe lens, the super macro probe lens. I use my Pro Blends to get up close and personal as I tap the open button. In post, adjust the position, scale, and timing to get everything to line up seamlessly. That worked perfectly, and I was able to get this additional shot with the NTT logo in there. Today's going to be a lot of back and forth. I get a shot, I jump it on the timeline one by one, and then the blender shot. Reminder, I had never exported from Blender before, so naturally, I decided to use it as the opening shot of the whole piece. Full send. The idea was to take an aerial shot of the Indy 500 and map that onto a cloth simulation. That gets sucked in through essentially a hole, timed perfectly with me grabbing my phone off a surface. Hopefully it'll all be seamless. I already had Indianapolis Motor Speedway footage from INDYCAR, so I just needed to get the phone grab. First we gotta film the phone, get everything timed correctly. This Nanox 960 is where we're gonna be getting the shot. We're doing this on a top-down rig, still the FX3, with fishing line taped to the back of the phone. You can't even see it, it's so thin. There it is. I quickly tug on the fishing line, give it a quick pull before I reach in and grab the phone. That was pretty good. This took several tries to get the motion just right. I'm going to dump it into Premiere, and we're going to check out this one and only shot before we move on to the next one. Then I masked out the fishing line in After Effects and moved on to the Blender part. Even though it was my first time using Blender, I knew exactly what I wanted. So it was just a matter of searching specific tutorials. Cloth sims, pin constraints, mapping video to a plane, stuff like that. Honestly, wasn't too bad. The final composite of the render and the phone grab made for a killer intro that literally pulls you into the video. Next shot, the driver selection screen. First things first is to rig up the camera setup. This one was simple and practical. I played INDYCAR content on my TV to simulate a living room vibe, and I shot my phone in front of it. We just brought this little key light in, and we're doing it in front of the TV. I just put on one of their highlight mixes. Here I used a magic arm to lock the camera and the phone together for consistent framing. In post, I pulled social media clips of the drivers and had them orbit around the phone as the list scrolls. Add in some glows and overlays, and it all came to life. And finally, my favorite shot, my macro eyeball. We're gonna pretend like it's his eyeball, even though it's mine. We're gonna punch in super tight on it, and you're gonna see in the reflection the INDYCAR app. I already had the previous shot picked out so I can match that angle with my Pro Blends. This is just a printout of the frame. I'm gonna match the perspective, except flipped. Then rig a setup to hold my phone in the perfect spot to get the whole reflection and build the whole setup around that. We have both lights that'll be blasting just right in my face. We're using the Pro Blend, so we need all the light we can get. This C-stand with the boom arm out that'll hold my phone. So it holds my phone with the NTT logo right there next to the lens. That way I can get the NTT logo in the reflection of my eye. I also rigged a forehead rest that I could push against to keep my positioning repeatable, and a production monitor so I could line everything up by glancing out the side of my eyes. It took a lot of tries. Directing your own eye with precision is harder than it sounds, but once it clicked, it really clicked. Since the shot was so meticulously planned with reference skills, the perspective matched perfectly. Then in post, I mirrored the shot so the reflection reads correctly, used a mask to blend the transition, and adjusted this scale to take the viewer all the way through the eye, like we're diving into the app. That's the final delivery, a 30-second broadcast version as well as social crops, which meant redoing a lot of the effects for vertical versus widescreen. And then I saw it, live on TV. I'm not gonna lie, that was super cool. And now, here's the full commercial.
The official INDYCAR app, powered by NTT data, puts the pulse-pounding action of INDYCAR right at your fingertips. Never miss a lap with the latest news, highlights, and live race coverage. Track every move with real-time leaderboards, interactive maps, onboard cameras, and driver radio. Your all-access pass to every race, every moment, every day. Download the official INDYCAR app now.
So yeah, that's how I made my first broadcast commercial. A ton of learning, a ton of experimenting, and a result that I'm extremely proud of. If you dug this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe, and check out the rest of my content. Thanks.